Welcome back to Arise Prime Time. I'm Charles Enye-Golden. Now let's get to the heart of the news with our commentator who will give us her personal take on the political events and issues of the day. And today we have the journalist, political affairs commentator and Arise News analyst, Dr. Constance Ikokwu. Thank you very much for coming in.
Pleased to be here, Charles.
Let's get to it right away. You saw Senator Itagiwa there talking about the absolute quintessential necessity of the separation of powers. And even though she's an APC member, she doesn't support the executive trying to dictate how the leadership should evolve out of the National Assembly. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I absolutely enjoyed the conversation with her. You can see a very experienced, astute, dogged, tenacious politician.
Absolutely.
And during her time, which was under President Obasanjo's tenure, it was a very robust National Assembly, although they had a lot of upheavals, like she mentioned. So she made superb points, which the APC should listen to, talking about, of course, the separation of power, and also the leadership, the person that wants to be the Senate president or the speaker. Do you have the temperament for that job? Do you even know what it entails? Are you ready to sit there through very long debates? So I think they should definitely listen to her. Absolute wonderful conversation there.
And she made a very important point about how crucial it is for there to be cordiality in that separation of powers, which is why there should be a liaison between the executive and the legislature, which is what she did. I mean, she was the special advisor on National Assembly matters.
Yes, President Obasanjo created that office, and it was a very smart move because it brought some sort of good working relationship between both houses. You know, and I also like that she mentioned the fact that the leadership of the National Assembly, they know themselves. Members know themselves, they are colleagues, and she talked about APC being weak in terms of numbers in the National Assembly. So they must be very careful because people crisscross all the time. It's happened before, and it can definitely happen this time.
That's a very crucial point that she made. Let's move to Dike Chukwumerije. I mean, as I said, he left me absolutely breathless with that last part of what he had to say. I mean, everything basically was very measured and very inspirational. But that particular bit where he was talking about what he sees as the role of the artist in an evolving country such as Nigeria. I wonder what you make of what he said.
He hit the nail on the head. Dike is a phenomenal human being, and we need more of this kind of people in our nation.
Absolutely.
The nail on the head being that we haven't solved the Nigerian question. We haven't solved the building of the nation. Yes, you have the infrastructure, the flyovers and all of that. But if the people do not see themselves as one, and it's not going to happen automatically, it's work that needs to be done methodically over time. It's not about just winning elections and running around the place. No, your job is to bring the nation together and construct it. It's a narrative, like he said. That work has not been done, and I hope that the so-called leaders are listening, because if it's not done, the ship is going to sink. And again, he talked about diversity. Yes, you win an election, you do governance, but if you do not manage that diversity, you're going nowhere.
That's why people like Plato and Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe all talked about philosopher kings, visionary leaders who can articulate, and that's what Chukwumerije was talking about there, what it means to be a Nigerian.
Yes. What does it mean to be a Nigerian? What are the ideals that we look up to? Those ideals, when you set them down or you set them up, then people that are in politics should go by those rules and adhere to them. Because if not, we're just playing around. And every society that has been built or constructed over time, they all have ideals based on which they're anchored.
Absolutely.
If you have no anchor, you will sink.
Yeah. If you look at the UK, for example, you look at the Benthamite philosophers and then people like John Stuart Mill and so on. I mean, they came up with a theory of utilitarianism out of which the institutions of Britain emerged sort of today. When you look at Nigeria, what stage do you think it is at when it comes to evolving in that direction?
It's not even only Nigerian, it's the whole of Africa. We're in chaos. We don't even know what we are. I think at this point we are hybrid. We copy some Western ideals and then we try to throw in the African ideals, which we are losing fast. Last week I talked about who are the custodians of your country. Your children don't even speak your language, and people say it doesn't matter. In your language is encoded a lot of things. It's encoded your traditions, your culture, who you are, where you began, where you're going, a lot of things. So it is important. So when you have leaders that are coming up from nowhere, they're just copying and pasting European models, American models, no. You have to go back to identity. You have to go back to originality. Who are you? And then based on that, you can, launch forward. Of course, it's a modern world today. You can borrow from here and there, but do not borrow hook, line, and sinker. Many times you have to adapt it to your own situation or to your own environment, because your environment is not the same with other environments. These are deep thoughts. It's not just about the politicians. These are deep thinking issues that people have to work on, and then as policy, as ideas, bring them to politicians. And I hope that politicians really know that these are needed for Nigeria to move forward.
On that note, I want to thank you very much.
Oh, this is very short.
You've joined the bandwagon,
yes.
have you? Dr. Constance Ikokwu making some very good points there. She is, of course, a journalist, political affairs commentator, and a Rise News analyst. Thank you very much indeed.
Delighted to be here. Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again next week. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.